Hello, hi, hola, good morning. It is a beautiful day outside, and you know what is even more beautiful than the day outside? Coffee, specifically caffeine. I am buzzing right now. I'm shaking. I've had double the amount of coffee that I normally have in the day, and I figured rather than let all of this excess energy go to waste, I will use it to tell you a story, because this is not just an ordinary story. No, this story involves VidCon 2016. That's right, I'm gonna make a VidCon story in November. Probably should have waited for, you know, when it gets closer to June to, you know, all that SEO and tags, but screw it, I gotta tell you the story now. And keep in mind that everything I tell you is occurring while we're already going through the flea crisis, which I've talked about before. Anyway, so there's a whole gaggle of us, like internet friends, all gathered together in my house. But keep in mind, I still am like secretly fangirling and super excited about, you know, we have Gabe Miller, we have Adler Davidson, and freaking Colin. So I'm like, I'm trying to really make a good impression, right? And then there's the whole flea situation that's going on. How could it possibly get any worse? Oh, it can. Oh, it can get so much worse. So much worse. So, okay, so VidCon starts at roughly 8 a.m., right? And, you know, to save some money, we decided to stay here at my house, which is about 2 hours away from Anaheim. So we had to get up 4 hours before 8 a.m. to give everyone, like, the chance to get ready and eat and be, like, properly caffeinated, and then, you know, 2 hours to get there. So, we were getting up at like 4 or 5 a.m. And also, you know, getting home at 1, 2 a.m. every night. So we're already, like, literally running on fumes, right? With, like, no sleep for 3 days in a row. That'll do things to you. And every spare little second of sleep that you can possibly get is incredibly precious. In that moment, it's like the most precious thing in the world to you. So when it is time for the sleeps, that is a sacred, holy time. So at this point, it's about 2 a.m., right? Everyone in the house has just said their goodnights, and the lights are off, and everybody has just about fully drifted off to sleep, including me. I'm just like laying down comfortably, and suddenly my eyes shoot open. Oh my gosh, I forgot to plug in my camera batteries, which, you know, this is kind of important for VidCon. You need fully charged camera batteries. So I take my phone, right? I turn on the flashlight, because I don't want to turn on the lights and wake everyone up. I don't want to be that guy, right? I really want these people to like me. I want to impress them. I'm such a fangirl over them. So and something you have to know about a house, right? This place was made in like the 60s. It is old. There was literally only one grounded outlet in the entire house. And said grounded outlet is where I feel the most safe to plug a whole bunch of things in. So hence, it is basically my charging station. So anyway, yeah, it's dark out. I'm quietly tiptoeing, making my way to this charging station. And actually, another thing you need to know. This house used to belong to my great-grandmother, who's now, like, dead. But when she was alive, she had one of those like life alert things, you know, and it was like, it was hooked up to this box that was plugged in at said charging station, so that in case she fell or something, she could call, you know, emergency services without having to get up. Right? That's how it worked. Unfortunately, we just got rid of it, so I can't actually show it to you, but here's an artist's recreation. And so that was taking up one of the outlets, and so I only had one outlet to plug all of my other charging stuff into, which I managed to do with a power strip, except, up to this point in time, I didn't need to charge my camera battery, so that wasn't plugged in. As I realized when I got there. Keep in mind also, this room that the charging station is in is the room that connects all of the other rooms that everybody else was asleep in. So I'm like, okay, no worries, I'll just plug my camera battery in. So I put the camera battery in the charger, and then plug in the charger. And then chaos ensues! Apparently, in that brief moment, when I plugged it in, I overloaded the outlet and flipped the breaker, which would have been bad enough, except, oh no, except there's one more thing. Somehow, that flipping the breaker for 1 millisecond of lost power, that caused the alarm box to live up to its name and start blaring out an alarm. At 2 a.m., everybody at the house is awoken to this incredibly shrill wee-oo. Except it sounded not like that, it sounded a little bit more like this. Oh shoot, what did I do? And while in the middle of freaking out, I finally realized, wait a minute, if I just pull the power from this, that'll like stop the siren. So I pulled this, and that stopped, and everything went quiet. Whew. Oh my gosh, I can relax. Okay, maybe now I can finally get some sleep. And the phone rings! But not my cell phone. In fact, not any of the cell phones in the house. No, the landline phone was ringing. I forgot we had a landline phone. And, you know where the ringing is actually coming from? From behind the shut door to the room that Adler is staying in. I'm not about to just burst into his room. He could be naked for all I know. I'm panicking, trying to figure out, like, what do I do? What do you do in this situation? When I remember, we have another phone. We have another landline phone. So I run over to it in the main common room where Gabe and Colin are, but at least the room is like open, so I don't feel as bad barging in. I don't think they'd be naked. So I rush in, right? And there's the phone. I grab it, I pick it up, and it's the cops. Well, okay, no, it's not the actual cops. It's the guys that are, you know, the life alert people, right? Hello, we have received an emergency distress call from this home. Please stay seated. Oh no, it's fine. I'm okay. Paramedics are on their way now. And just to make things so much worse, at that very moment, the battery of the phone died. And I couldn't call them back. I couldn't contact them. The phone was dead. Literally the ambulance, they were gonna send an ambulance to our house at 2 in the morning when there was no one, like, you know, what do I do? The phone's dead. It takes hours to charge again. There's no way. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm not only gonna wake up these people, these internet friends that I've been trying to impress, I'm also gonna wake up literally everybody on our street because this paramedic was gonna come, siren blazing, right to our front door, and they were gonna push the door, and I was just like, ah, because I couldn't call them back and explain the situation. Wait a minute. I have a crazy idea, but it just might work. You see, we have a printer, only it's not just a printer, it's one of those printer slash scanner slash copier slash fax machine hooked up to our phone line. Yeah, so whenever we get a call on the landline, the number pulls up on the printer. I mean, that's all I knew. I didn't know how to access it. I've never used the fax machine before. Are you kidding me? But it was literally my last resort. I had to figure out if it like somehow saved numbers from previous missed calls, which, side note, it is really bizarre to suddenly hear your printer start ringing. But yeah, so I'm like fumbling through the menus, and at this point, Gabe Miller comes up and he's like, hey man, is everything okay? And I'm trying to be calm. I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. No, it's all good. I'm just fiddling with this printer at 2 in the morning for no reason. When I see it, I see missed call from insert number here. I found it. Hallelujah! But because the landline was dead, I had to call them from my cell phone, which is a different number. I mean, this is my last resort. So I called them back, and I got a very lovely lady on the phone. I explained the situation to her, and she said, oh, no worries, okay. Well, we won't send the ambulance. And I was like, thank you so much, and hung up. And to this day, I still don't know if Adler slept through all of that or not. But that was the story of the alarm at 2 a.m. at VidCon. And Gabe, Colin, and Adler, I hope you had already forgotten about this, but if you haven't, I'm sorry. And yeah. that year, that was something I'll never forget. I can't believe that happened. How about you? Do you have anything that could possibly top that? Or at least like any cringy stories that happened when you were like with someone you were trying to impress? Because goodness gracious, do I have many, many stories. I should just not be allowed around other people. Basically, I'm just like a walking, talking mayhem creator. But I guess in the midst of all of it, I just gotta remind myself to stay positive and drink a lot of coffee. It really helps with your storytelling abilities.